It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay, proud as a peacock.
Incidentally, this is Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Peter Clay is here today. Holy crap, it's Peter.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another scintillating episode of Me and My Apple TV. No, I'm sorry. Wait. Say that again. I'm sorry. Welcome to another scintillating episode of Me and My Chromecast. No, that's not it either. Oh, my gosh. What are we... Oh, yes. It's Me and My Roku. Yes, and I'm your host, Peter Clay. Welcome aboard, everyone. Yes, we had another entrant into the Streaming Wars debut this week, and once again, Roku, and to be fair, Amazon as well, are left out of the picture. And yet, Roku seems to be going strong and all that stuff. And yet, some of these streaming services don't want to play along, apparently. So, whose fault is it? Is it Roku? Is it Comcast, the parent company of the new service Peacock? Oh, who knows? But we got lots going on. A bunch of things. I may sound a little different. For one, I have a little sinus thing going on. It's nothing serious. It's not the other thing that's going on or anything like that. I also, because of the joys of home office and all that stuff, have an animal in front of the microphone, so you might hear noises from him. And so I'm supposed to have a mixing board come in and be here by this recording, but that's on a container ship in the Pacific somewhere because it can't come in because of all the COVID stuff and all that stuff. But we press on. Nothing is too good for my listeners. I will keep plugging away as we go on. So we got plenty to talk about. So we have the new streaming service. We have another hardware review to come in because, oh yes, we got things going on here in the household and a whole bunch of stuff going on as we press on here on Me and My Roku. So we got plenty to get to, so let's get started. Okay, well, normally I would put this off to the end of the show, and make you search for it or make you wait for it and talk about other things and make you just crim and crawl and go, God, get to that review of Peacock already. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to lead it off right off the top because, one, I've got other things to talk about, and two, really shouldn't even talk about it because it's not on the Roku. There's really nothing to say. There's really nothing to review. Now, are you missing anything? I guess that's the one thing. The one saving grace for you NBC Comcast fans or NBC Universal is that the NBC app is still available on the Roku. So you're really not missing much, kind of, sort of. You still get plenty of stuff on the NBC. It's a fine app. I really don't understand why they really had to do this big makeover type of thing. But hey, that's life. It's the same fight I'm having with Google over Google Play Music and YouTube Music. You have something that's working perfectly well. Why don't you just rename it YouTube Music instead of moving everything over to something that works okay and trying to make it something worthwhile? But anyway, that's a side issue. Anyway. So anyway, first impressions of Peacock TV are mixed at best, to say the least. It's fine overall. Once you get there, do you have things to rot your brain for the rest of your life? Yes, you do. And you can get that for free, and you can pay for it with ads, and you can pay for it with no ads and lots of other stuff too. So you have choices, I guess. I guess that's important. But so if you just need things to rot your brain, but on the Roku, and since it's not available on the Roku, there's so much on the Roku you can do that with already. It's really not worth the effort in a sense. So once again, not available on the Roku. So it gets points taken away for that. The only place I can find it right off the bat, I mean immediately, like when I woke up first thing in the morning, got out of bed, let's look for Peacock. The only place I could find it right away was Apple. And I was able to use Apple credits and all that stuff, so I did the 7-week trial. Now, I heard there was supposed to be a promotion through Android. And now, I guess I will be fair and say that I did check in my Android first because there was supposed to be a promotion that you would get 3 months for free if you do this. Now, there was nothing saying that anywhere. There was nothing. I couldn't even find it on the Play Store. So I had to get it through Chrome, and then I signed up. Yeah, it was fine from there. And then from there, by pure accident, then was available to get the app through the Play Store then. So I had to go through Chrome, through the Peacock website, Then when it said get the app, then it went. So you couldn't just go to the Play Store and get it. So I don't know if they wanted you to do that to sign up to get the promotion or something like that, but nothing was made aware or anything along those lines. So that one was frustrating. And then when I couldn't do it in there, then I went to my tablet on my iPad and got it on Apple, no problem, right off the bat. I didn't even bother with Roku because I already knew it wasn't going to happen. So, there. But I did check to see if the NBC app still worked, and it does. So once you get it and get there, then you kind of have to try and navigate through all these things because there's a grid style, and then there's a browse, and then there's different categories and all that stuff. So it's a bit confusing and stuff. So again, the material is there, but okay, the grid style. Some people were liking about the grid, complimenting on the grid, and it's fine. Once you get past the exclusive stuff, like the Today Show, the Saturday Night Live, and some of the other stuff, that's just Pluto TV, or I should say Xumo, because since Comcast owns Xumo. So it was like, okay, I can get this anywhere type of thing. So if you need another free service, but you can't get it on the Roku, so you're fine with either Xumo or Pluto or any of those other things. So long and short of it is, yeah, if you want to get it, you would have to get it through other means, Apple or Chromecast or Android TV. And again, Android TV, couldn't get it through the app there. You had to go through Chrome, and jeepers creepy. So it was fine by the time you finally got it. It just took a process to get it, and then for me, who likes a challenge and all that stuff, and I was just going to go to the bitter end until I figured it out, that's fine. But to somebody who just wants to rot the brain and just, we're talking about the people who usually just get these things just for Netflix or something like that, I don't see how you're going to veer them off from that. So there's potential there. And like I said, I went down a rabbit hole with 2.5 Men on there, and again, wondering why that was on Peacock and not HBO Max. Again, that's still not on Roku either yet. So the story on this is that HBO Max, Time Warner, AT&T, and Peacock, NBC Universal, Comcast, they want complete control of everything. And Roku and Amazon actually want to help them out. They want to put them on their tiers, as far as the billing through them. And they don't want to do that. I guess they don't want to. Anyway. So they're in bed with Google because they got the 3-month thing. So they're giving them a cut there. It was on Apple right away, and I could use my Apple credits. So that means 30% of that's going to Apple. I guess they only want to cut the sword so many ways type of thing. So if you want an absolute review of everything, because everyone loves reviews and rankings, let's rank all the different streaming services that have come out lately and all that stuff. So number 1 is Disney Plus. A+++. 1, it's available on the Roku. And yeah, there were some snags kind of to start with people trying to log in and all that stuff. Basically because it was just popular. Other than that, on the Roku, Apple credits didn't cost me anything. And hello, Hamilton. Hulu is an A. It would get an A+, but they don't take Apple credits. And I have another issue with Hulu, and I'll talk about that later in the show. CBS All Access, to start, was a little shaky. At first, it didn't really have much, but it's really grown. I'm going to give that a B+. It's really grown into a wonderful service, and not only can I get my live CBS station, Apple credits on Roku, it's turned out to be a pretty good service, and I can cancel anytime, and then when I want to come back, they usually give me some sort of a deal as well. Apple TV gets a B. It's okay. And obviously, it didn't come up on the Roku right away, so it gets dinged for that. Obviously, Apple credits, but then I got the iPad, so I got it for a year for free. And the programming is getting there. It started off a little slow, but then they also have my Apple library of things I've bought through iTunes, and a lot of other stuff that I can now watch on my Roku. So that was a good thing. So I'm going to give that a B. HBO Max is a B-. It would be an A- if it were on the Roku. And I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it's not on the Roku. And then Peacock then gets a C+. It has just as much programming as about anybody else. Some exclusive stuff, that's okay. I did watch Premier League football and all that stuff. And then when the Olympics come, they're going to have that stuff as well. So there's stuff there, but you can get it from anywhere else on your Roku and all that stuff as well. So it's a little disappointing that after the big announcement, kind of like HBO Max, that you have this big announcement, and then they also had a soft rollout for Comcast customers since April, and then to have this kind of roll out and kind of, so that's kind of how I feel about it. So C+. Could be worse, could be better, could be on the Roku, and we'd have a lot more to talk about, but there you have it. Peacock TV reviewed and the rankings, because we love rankings. All of that here on Me and My Roku. Okay, we're back here on Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Once again, I just want to remind you, this is a me show. The me part of Me and My Roku. So when I talk about something like Peacock and all that stuff, remember, it's just coming from my perspective. And it's kind of hard for me to give something a positive review when I can't use it on my Roku. So just remember that part. So I'm trying to be fair and all that stuff. And so that's just how I see it. And then I bring these things to you and then let you decide for yourself. I'm not trying to be that thing. Well, you should never get Peacock. It's not on the Roku. Blah, 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 blah. I don't do that. I just show you what I do and the rest is up to you type of thing. So on that note, let's talk about things you can actually watch on your Roku. And that's baseball. Yes, baseball is back. Tentatively scheduled to come back on the 23rd of July, which is about a week from now, from this recording type of thing, with a full season. There's a couple of games that are starting a day before. And MLB TV is back in action. Now, remember, during the pandemic, MLB TV was providing the last previous couple of seasons that you could watch for free. And I had ads in between innings and all that stuff, and they were doing that as a service so you could get by and still love the sport and all that stuff. That has since passed, but, however, as part of the free games of the day, they have been showing the teams during their scrimmages as they get ready for the season, because they're practicing in their home parks. So some have a stationary camera, and they have no sound because they're playing music and they don't have the music license and all that stuff. Others are showing crowd noise and all that stuff as they get back. So a lot of practicing, a lot of stuff. So if you find that stuff, some teams are going all out. Like the Milwaukee Brewers are going all out, having a team in blue and a team in white, and they're going at it as kind of a World Series type of thing. And they got fake crowd noise, and they have their announcers and all that stuff. And so some are going all out on that, and some are just practicing, and who knows which is better, and who knows when the season starts for sure. But anyway, if you are a T-Mobile subscriber, they normally have their ticket to the game type of thing. They are a sponsor of MLB, and so they usually give you a free season of it. Now, they tried to do that at the beginning of the season, then the season got halted because of COVID. So now the Score Free is back. Starting the 21st of July, you can sign up through a website and get free MLB for the rest of the season, plus a 1-year subscription to The Athletic. If you are not a T-Mobile subscriber, you can just get MLB TV, and I believe they do have a discounted price for the rest of the season. It's just a 60-game season this year, remember? So just August and September and a little bit of July there. And then the regular playoffs and all that stuff. So there you have it. That's available on your Roku. MLB TV is on there and all that stuff. You can also use your Apple credits too if you have those. MLB TV takes that as well. So I got that email just before I started recording. Yay! Another email I just got saying that this podcast that you're very listening to right now is now available on Pandora. Woohoo! They've been the lone holdout, and now, gosh, I knew they couldn't live without us. So I knew we would break them down eventually. So there's hope for HBO Max and Peacock on your Roku, because this podcast is now on Pandora. So good things happen to those who wait. So if you are joining us on Pandora for this time, listen to the rest of the shows and all that stuff, and welcome aboard as well, here on Me and My Roku. Okay, kids, gather around. Not too close. Kind of got the sniffles a little bit, and social distancing and all that stuff. So, but a little bit so here where we can have a little chit chat and we can talk about things here a little bit. The bandwidth of this podcast is brought to you by the Internet Archive, and we couldn't do it without them. And we thank them and we love them. And by we, I mean me. Puts out this podcast so I can put it out to everybody, including Pandora now, and all that stuff, and they don't ask for anything other than I come by here and tell you what's going on. They have a thing, if you go to archive.org right now, as a matter of fact, they are taking a survey right now. It's just kind of testing the waters out there and how they can improve and all that stuff, and they would really appreciate that. If you would like to donate, there's a donate button right underneath that as well. I endorse that and would ask you to do that as well. If you wish, it's okay. It's purely optional and all that stuff. It's just a way of saying thank you for all the things that they do, not just for me, but for preserving the whole internet and all the different things they have going on. And we just... I like everything that they're doing and all that stuff, and I really want to support them. During my time off of that, I kind of got into a little issue with Todd Cochran, the host of Blueberry, and their setup, and he's thinking that all these Pandoras and Spotify and all that stuff should be paying podcasters type of thing and all that stuff. So I really, really appreciate what the Internet Archive is doing. Should they be paying me? Should I be paying them? Type of thing. You know what? We just try and go out and do what we can to preserve these things, that these things are archived, then we know that we were here at one point. I don't have any kids. I don't have a legacy or anything like that. This is it. And I'm not going to argue about, am I getting paid and all that stuff. I just do what I do, and the Internet Archive does what they do. And every now and then I like to throw my support for them. Sometimes it's financially, and sometimes it's with a virtual hug like right now. And if you'd like to do that as well and support those things, if you support Todd Cochran. He's not a bad guy or anything like that. He just has a position that I don't agree with. Now, I could do what everyone else does and go, I'm offended and you should be fired and all that stuff. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm just disagreeing with him and all that stuff. And so I'm just pressing on and moving forward with life type of thing. And maybe someday we'll all learn from that lesson as well. So that's there for you to enjoy as well. There is a donate button, radioaffliction.com. If you support what I do, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So much is going on here, and I'm just pressing forward and all that stuff. Everything's fine, and I will just keep doing what I do. I've been doing it since 2005, and I've been doing it since 1988, to be perfectly honest. So whether it was working at a radio station or burning cassettes, recording cassettes, burning CDs, and internet streaming, whatever the next thing is, putting a chip in my brain or something like that and sending it out telepathically, I might do that as well. Who knows? So stay tuned for all those good things as well. Here, support archive.org at archive.org and support us by just keep on listening and subscribing and telling Pandora thank you and telling Spotify thank you and Apple iPods and podcasts and all that stuff. Thank you, Google Podcasts, everyone. I'll go through the whole list later on. But anyway, thank you, archive.org. Okay, we're back here on Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Let me tell you what's been going on. I'm trying to kind of not totally upgrade everything to make this podcast sound better and more organized and all that stuff. So, like I said, my mixing board I've had since I started internet streaming about 1996 or so. And so that finally just gave up. All the knobs were breaking off. That's been going on for years. Only could go out in mono, and then finally I couldn't hear the playback in my ear, and so it was just time. Computer that I've been working on and all that stuff is slower than I'll get out. I tried to get more memory for it, and then it would start crashing and restarting all the time and all that stuff. So we're just alone here in this little man cave here where all the magic happens with the Roku and everything. And so we're just all kicking back here. So everything's going to be fine. More memory is coming. The new mixing board is coming. I have a microphone here. I'm going to be going out and doing remotes and all that stuff. So everything that's tested out and working out fine. So I hope it sounds okay to you. I appreciate everything. Listen, know it's going to get better, just like everything else in life right now. And then also that we're still going and we're still trying and we're still out there and all that stuff. So the other thing that also happened is I'm having a really hard time with Hulu on the Roku right now. I talked about this the last couple of weeks. Thought I had a fix for it. It's just become untenable. And then also I'm trying to be the object reviewer for everybody for things like HBO Max and Peacock and all that stuff. The Chromecast was working fine, all that stuff. And I just kind of broke down and thought, well, let's try the Apple TV. And let's just say, folks, we're not going to be changing the name of this podcast at any time soon and all that stuff. As everything that I say, I try and review things like Penn Jillette, the magician, part of Penn and Teller. Every person who comes on Penn and Teller's Fool Us, he'll always give a raving review. All right, even if you went up there and the trick didn't work or anything like that, he'll say, thank you for having the courage to come out. And as a matter of fact, if someone went out there, took off their pants and took a dump on the stage, he'd be like, wow, you took a lot of courage to come out there. I really appreciate that and all that stuff. So anyway, the Apple TV is fine. It's beautiful, but it's just way too complicated. And so I review these things as if I'm going through my wife's eyes. So if something happened to me, all right, so like 3 years ago, 3-year anniversary, I had a bi-article infraction. I had a friggin' heart attack. It was fine, and I'm fine now and all that stuff. It turned out one vessel kind of went kaplooey and all that stuff. A couple stents, I'm good. And still good. I go in, check up with my doctor, and he'll say what he always says, wow. And all that stuff. So anyway, so I look at this as if something happens to me, okay, and so my wife is left to deal with this, and she wants to watch TV, what's going to work the best? And Roku comes out, number one. You turn it on, you plug it in, you connect, and you're in. That's it. It's right there. And all these other things, Chromecast I kind of understand because you're just taking something from something and putting it on your screen. That could be easy for some people and daunting for others type of thing. Amazon Fire would probably come out next because there's a lot of stuff there, a lot of Amazon-y stuff. But eventually the apps are right there that you could go to, kind of figure out after a couple minutes. The Apple TV is stunningly beautiful. I mean, the picture quality is just, wow. This Dolby Vision or whatever it is, it really popped compared to the Roku Ultra and the Android TV and all that stuff. The Android TV is fine, but everything has to be working perfectly. You have to restart and all that stuff and make sure there's no other things going on. It's really kind of a dumb computer, and it really does not handle the bandwidth very well. The menu on the Apple TV is it's strange, and don't even get me started about the remote. Okay, first of all, the one thing says menu on it, and it's really the back button, and you don't figure that anyway. It's okay. The Roku, to save your family a lot of trouble. If you're going to give it as a gift or anything like that, get them a Roku Premier or Roku Express or something like that, and they'll be just fine. All these products are fine. They're great, and thank you. A lot of courage to come out there and do the things you do, but when it comes down to it, you turn on the Roku, and it's there. None of this others, and if there is something, it's on the side. It's okay. None of these other things, daunting you to get something else or try something else or all that stuff, and you can get the Apple TV app and stuff and deal with it that way. So I was kind of prepared for that, having the Apple TV app on the Roku, but Hulu, not having a problem there, not having a problem on the Fire TV, and not having a problem Chromecasting. For some reason, you're watching, and just before you go to a commercial break, something happens and it zooms in. It's a problem everyone's put up on the internet. It's easily searched and all that stuff, and yet somehow can't be fixed. You can clear your cache, but you're going to only do that so many times, and yet the problem still happens. So, seemingly, Roku and Hulu aren't communicating very well because it's not happening anywhere else, type of thing. So, that was kind of a expensive way to try and come up with to solve a problem, but again, help to review those things. So, if you want your official rankings of internet streaming hardware, Roku 1, Amazon Fire TV 2, Chromecast 3, Apple TV 4, they're all good. They're all do wonderful things. Like on another thing on the Apple TV, MLB TV, you can have multiple games on. It was like, whoa. Okay, you can't do that on the Roku. I mean, the Roku does have the benefit of where I can watch any inning I want. Sometimes I like that a little better, but, multiple games, well, we actually really have a season 2. That's the other thing. So, anyway, I've wasted so much of your time. I really appreciate you listening and all that stuff. I got to get back to my Roku. I'm starting to get a little itchy, a little twitchy, and the air conditioning is off, and I got to turn it back on, otherwise I'll melt here. Anyway, and the cat's getting a little rambunctious too. So, anyway, I want to invite you to try Philo for 7 days. It's my gift to you for putting up with me and all the things that I've talked about and all that stuff. Try that out today at Philo at meandmyroku.com. And I said that wrong. Let's try it again. Philo.meandmyroku.com. See what you got to put up with the folks here? I'll get it right eventually. philo.meandmyroku.com. And you'll get a 7-day free trial of Philo. 60 channels, $20, 7 days free. You can't get much better than that right now. And since sports is maybe yes, maybe no type of thing, 60 channels all for you right there. Plus, Christmas in July on the Hallmark channels there. They got all 3 of them right there. I did a lot of the stuff that I get. Sounds expensive. Sounds like I'm racking up a lot of things. And how is that really beneficial to cord cutting and all that stuff? Well, I get a lot of gift cards to do these things. And there's ways that I do that. And one of the ways I do that is through Swag Bucks. Try that out today. It's perfectly okay if you don't want to. I get it. You don't want to give away your personal information and all that stuff. You find those things scammy and all that stuff. I've been doing it for over 5 years and all that stuff. And like I said, it helps me pay for a lot of things that I talk about here. And that's at swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. Don't have to do anything else from there. Just follow that link right there. And all this is also on the show notes for this, where you ever get your podcasts and all that stuff too. So once again, special thanks to archive.org for their support. You may subscribe to this podcast, and please do, and help spread the word. Invite people to subscribe to it, because I'm on all the platforms now. We have done the bingo. We have completed the bingo card. You ready for the list? Here it is: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, iHeartMedia, Podbean, Pandora, and radio.com. You can follow me on Twitter. Maybe you'll get hacked. Follow me there at Radio Affliction. And if you want one-on-one questions or comments, email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Pierre Argyle. Why not? Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll be back with you real soon.